The first night in the house, something whispered my name. I was still half awake, tangled in unfamiliar sheets, when the sound crept through the darkness, soft, slow, and deliberate, like breath brushing against my ear. Andrea. My eyes flew open. The room was ice cold, far colder than it had been when I fell asleep. Moonlight spilled through the tall farmhouse window, casting long shadows across the walls. For a moment, I thought I had dreamed it, until I felt the mattress dip beside me. Something was sitting there. I held my breath. My heart hammered so loudly I was sure it could hear me. Slowly, painfully slowly, I turned my head. There was no one there. But the indentation remained. The house in Harrisville, Rhode Island, looked peaceful during the day. White wooden walls, black shutters, a wide porch that faced endless fields. Built in the early 1700s, it stood alone, surrounded by trees that whispered when the wind passed through them. To anyone else, it looked like a dream, quiet, historic, full of charm. To us, it became a nightmare. My family moved into the farmhouse in the winter of 1971. My parents, Roger and Carolyn Perron, believed they had found the perfect home for raising 5 daughters. It was cheap, spacious, and far from the noise of the city. The realtor had hesitated before handing over the keys. "Just one thing," she said, forcing a smile. "Whatever happens here, don't light a fire at night." She never explained why. We should have left then. The first signs were small, almost harmless. Clocks stopped at exactly 3:07 a.m. every night. Doors creaked open on their own. Cold spots appeared in warm rooms. Our dog, Sadie, refused to enter the house and whimpered endlessly at the doorway, her tail tucked between her legs. Then one morning, Sadie was dead. No wounds, no poison, no explanation. My mother stood over her body, pale and shaking. "She wouldn't come inside," Mom whispered. "It didn't like her." That night, I saw my first shadow. It stood at the end of the hallway, tall, impossibly thin, darker than the darkness around it. It didn't move. It didn't breathe. It just watched. When I blinked, it was gone. The house had history. Too much history. Before us, 8 generations had lived, and died, on that land. Records spoke of murders, suicides, drownings, and children found hanging from trees. Some deaths were never explained. Others were quietly buried. But one name appeared again and again. Bathsheba Sherman. She had lived in the house in the 1800s. Locals accused her of witchcraft after an infant died under her care, a needle found buried deep in its skull. Though she was never convicted, the town never forgave her. Bathsheba later hanged herself from a tree behind the house. Witnesses claimed her body turned to stone. Her curse, they said, was eternal. My mother was the first to be targeted. At night, she woke with bruises covering her arms and legs, finger-shaped marks, dark and angry. She complained of feeling watched, followed, touched. Once, I heard her screaming. We rushed into her room to find her floating above the bed, her body rigid, her head bent backward at an impossible angle. Her voice wasn't hers anymore. It was deep, ancient, furious. "Get out of my house." She slammed into the bed, unconscious. The smell of rotting meat filled the room. That was when the attacks became violent. Invisible hands pulled my sister's hair. Beds shook. Walls bled dark stains that vanished by morning. Laughter echoed from empty rooms. One night, I followed the sound of crying to the basement. The door creaked open slowly, as if welcoming me. The air down there was thick, damp, and suffocating. My flashlight flickered, barely cutting through the darkness. And then I saw it. A woman stood in the corner. Her neck was twisted. Her eyes were black holes. Her skin was gray, stretched tight over bone. Her feet hovered inches above the dirt floor. She smiled and rushed toward me. I don't remember screaming, but my throat burned for days. Desperate, my parents contacted paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. Lorraine felt it immediately. "There's something ancient here," she said softly. "Something that hates your family." During a séance, the temperature dropped so suddenly our breath turned to mist. Candles flickered violently. The house groaned like it was alive. Then my mother was possessed. Her body convulsed. Her eyes rolled back. She spoke in a language none of us understood. Lorraine screamed, "Bathsheba!" The room exploded with rage. Furniture flew. Windows shattered. The entity howled, not like a human, but like something dragged up from hell. "This house is mine." The séance ended in chaos. The Warrens wanted to perform an exorcism. The church refused. After that, the house tried to kill us. My youngest sister was nearly crushed when a wardrobe toppled over, pushed by unseen hands. I was locked inside a room that filled with flies in seconds. My mother was lured to the cellar by a voice pretending to be my father. The voice wanted her dead. One night, I woke again at 3:07 a.m. This time, the shadow wasn't at the end of the hallway. It was standing over me. Red eyes burned inches from my face. Its mouth stretched too wide, filled with broken teeth. "Your mother belongs to me," it hissed. I fainted. We left the house shortly after. We didn't sell it. We didn't pack properly. We ran. Even now, decades later, the scars remain. Nightmares. Scratches that appear without reason. The smell of decay that returns when I dream of that place. The house still stands in Harrisville. People visit it. They call it haunted. They film videos. They laugh. They don't hear the whispers at night. They don't see the shadows watching from the windows. They don't know that something never left. And sometimes, when the clock strikes 3:07 a.m., I hear it again. Soft, patient, calling my name.